All right, now let us get the requirements installed. Okay, and cool. So I have pasting the requirements here. These requirements are pretty standard. If you look at the project, we need fast API UVicon, we need pedantic, we need .env, we need LangGraph and LangChain and LangMem related libraries. We need Google Cloud Store related libraries. We need async PG to work with vector. Now here we'll be using async operations, right? Because we want our systems to run asynchronously, right? SQL Alchemy PG vector, Scicop G2 because we are working with Cloud SQL on GCP, PyTest, HTTPX, Tenacity, struct log for logging, etc. Okay, so I'll be just installing these libraries. Okay, so let me get these libraries installed. Looks good. After getting the libraries installed, what I'm going to do is I'm also going to create a 2ml file, or some people also call it toml file, right? It's one and the same thing. So pyproject.2ml. Okay, because I'm not going to explain what is pyproject.2ml. Yeah, I think you have already done this, so there's no reason to explain all these things. Okay, cool. After this, so we have set up our requirements.txt. We have set up our pyproject.2ml. Along with this, let us also at least mention the requirements in our .env. Okay, so in our environment, what all things do we need to set? Okay, so first and foremost, I will be needing the OpenAI API key. Okay, then I'll be using my embedding model. Okay, after this, I need to define which model I'll be using. Let's say I'm going to use GPT-4o, so that GPT-4o goes here. Then I'm going to define my Langsmith API key. Then the name of the project. See, why are we going to use Langsmith? We're going to use Langsmith for observability purposes. We're going to trace our agent movements, the outputs, tool calls, token exposure, everything. Okay, and there is also something called as LangChain tracing. Unless and until we don't set our tracing to true, it will not trace our agent movement. Okay, then for GCP, I'm going to define the GCP project ID. Okay, then the GCP region, typically this will be US Central 1 only, so I'll just mention US Central 1 here, and the GACS bucket name, okay, which is my object storage. Okay, then for Cloud SQL, I'll be needing the database host credentials, database port number, then the DB name, then I'll be storing my DB DB user, then I'll be setting the DB password or sharing the DB password as well. Okay, after this, the clinical, see, we are going to use two government databases, right? So clinical trials base URL, from where we're going to fetch the data. Okay, and along with that, the clinical trials page size. Okay, what is this? We'll come to this later. I'm also going to define my PubMed base URL. PubMed is the another government database we're going to refer to. Okay, PubMed, yeah, correct. And next is the API host. Okay, and then the API port, which is typically 8000 for fast API, and I'm just going to set my API ENV to development. Okay, so this is what creates my .env. Okay, that's Open API key, embedding model, chat model, Langsmith API key, Langsmith project, tracing true, GCP credentials, database credentials, your URLs. Actually, this, I'll just keep it this way. These are your URLs for databases. Database doesn't, rather not database, I'll say this is the sources. Okay, and your API credentials, right? So that creates your environment variables. All right, looks good. And then we also have .ignore to dot ignore, we'll just add the standard files that we usually have. Okay. All right, that pretty much looks good. And yeah, so I think we can we can get started with this one, right? Right, I think this pretty much looks good. It pretty much looks dope now. Yeah, I think we should be getting started on, obviously, I mean, we should be getting started with config. Typically in config, let's get started in the next part with the logging config and settings. Okay. So this is your typically the central configuration. The logging config is going to be the central logging setup for your entire project, right? And then you have settings.py, and settings.py is like, again, the entire configuration. Okay, basically this will be reading each and every value from your environment variables, and it is going to validate that the required values are present at the startup of the workflow. Okay. All right. Okay, so let's move to the next part.